The enclosure is one big topic that's currently on the agenda, because the developer kits we ship come without enclosure, no shell currently.
And you told me earlier that actually the plan for the enclosure itself can also be found in your website.
Exactly. There are two kind of versions of the enclosure we're working on. The one is called the simple enclosure, because it's really meant as just a shell around the electronics. And that's meant to be 3D printed. Either we print it and ship it to people, or if people have a local hackerspace, have a 3D printer themselves, they can print it, or even adapt it for their own needs. There are people flying the camera in drones and they want to get rid of any component that has weight. So if they can 3D print their own enclosure that kind of only protects the parts they need, maybe they even strip the electronics because they don't need certain elements in the drone. That's the enclosure for these people. And then there's the full enclosure, as we call it, which is meant to be kind of the rugged, fully aluminum tank kind of enclosure that has the mount points, that's very solidly milled, and that you would kind of consider knowing from other cameras as they look on the surface and everything.
But you're concentrating on the brain of the camera, also some accessories. How would you like, eventually the shipment will be what?
It's kind of like a Lego pieces collection that you can put together as you like. There's the brain, as you call it, which is kind of essential core of things, of the electronics and the enclosure. But we are developing new plug-in modules, which, if you consider it like a PC, like you can plug in new graphics cards or swap the processor and so on. So it's more of a kind of ecosystem of things to put together as you like.
How many people actually backed up the Indiegogo campaign?
Around 500 people who were interested in the
actual camera.
In getting the camera at some point, yes, 500 people.
Okay. You also told me earlier that you will come to the point that even the sensor itself will be replaceable.
Yes.
And you're trying to build the camera like future-proof. So that's going to be really that easy? Like
Sam?
at home you will be able to swap a sensor, or that's a bit more difficult?
It depends. So maybe the most difficult challenge would be to actually build the entire camera yourself. I guess a lot of people will not want to do that. But when it comes to swapping modules, there are the plug-in modules at the back which deal with I/O, which can be external interfaces like HDMI, SDI, can be in the future recording modules. These are plug and play basically. If you ever swap the graphics card in a computer, you're more than capable of swapping out this kind of accessory. When it comes to changing the sensor, it will be a little bit more difficult. You need to be a bit more careful. But in the end, if you follow, or if you're capable of putting together an IKEA cupboard with the instructions that IKEA sends you, I think you would be capable of swapping out the sensor. We will have clear instructions, and there are some things you need to take care of, like electronic static discharge, so you don't damage the electronics when you open everything up. But in the end, I think most people would be more than capable of doing it with the right guidelines and instructions. But of course, you can also send it back and we will install it for you. That's also an option, or if other people in your area do it.
And the actual lens mount will also be swappable?
Of course. Currently, we use a native E-mount, because that has the shortest flange focal distance between sensor surface and the bayonet. That pretty much allows you to adapt the camera to pretty much any lens there is. But of course, having many adapters is also not favorable for some people for stability reasons. So the lens mount itself is also modular. And in the full enclosure, for example, that I mentioned earlier, it's 4 screws that attach the body to the lens mount, and then everybody can build his own lens mounts. We will manufacture different lens mounts, and it just plugs together basically with 4 screws.
And what about the recording media? Did you already decide which way you want to go, or again that will be swappable?
Yeah, well, currently the focus, or the first step of the project, was that we want to deal with the acquisition side properly. Because the recorder and codec and so on is such a huge topic that if you try to solve it all at once, it will kind of keep us busy forever. So with the acquisition side finished now, we have topics and different options for recording. Currently we use external recorders. all the applications have different ones to use processing the compression with all at once. Kind of
It's
that's not easily possible with these high records because we have different frame rates that are only supported. Only a few of them actually support RAW, and then it's only a proprietary format from existing cameras that have specific protocols in between. And so the final goal has to be that we also control the recorder side. And currently the approach, or one of the approaches, is a USB 3 module that you plug into the camera at the back. And you can stream uncompressed raw data to a PC, laptop, small NUC-like device over USB. And since we kind of control the way the data is stored on that device, we can do the full uncompressed raw recording at any frame rate. We can store metadata, we can use the PC to transcode for proxies, offline data, dailies, and so on already. So that's one of the approaches which is very promising currently. It's also very inexpensive because it's standard off-the-shelf computer, and you can attach any recording audio to that PC in the rig or in a...
So it's one of those very tiny, small PCs that you currently...
It goes from very big to very small PC basically, so everything you want is depending on how small and how lightweight or how mobile you want to be with your setup. And then you can attach any recording media if you record to an SSD that you plug in some way in this enclosure, or if you attach CFast cards, USB sticks, I don't know, it's basically up to the user in the end. And the second approach we're currently researching and working on is an SD card RAID. And the idea is that SD cards are getting pretty affordable, widely available, and they are pretty fast already. And as soon as you use one of them in a RAID, you can scale up bandwidth pretty much infinitely.
It sounds like a P2 card in a way. I think that was Panasonic used to be with the P2 cards. I thought it was a combination of SD cards, fast SD cards with some controller. But okay.
But this is kind of fully open because you can actually plug in the SD cards in the module, and you can decide if you want more of them, larger ones, smaller ones, and you can even decide, if it works this way, if you want to run backups or if you just want to increase speed. Nice. But it's in development. We don't know if it will actually work. We hope so. That's the approach currently, and if it works, it would be great. But we don't want to overpromise anything because it's in development currently, and you know how that can go.
Of course. How much does it cost to make a camera? Because maybe then we can reflect on how much it's actually costing other manufacturers, and of course they are producing in a higher volume, so we can...
Well, with electronics it all comes down to volume, and the biggest cost is always development. And that's not factored into the cost price, because that was covered through our crowdfunding campaign. And if you actually would pay every single individual for every hour that he worked on the project, it would have cost already millions, definitely. So the camera would be hugely unaffordable currently.
Okay.
But since the deal that we did with crowdfunding was that we give cameras to backers at cost, we can just count the material price and the time it takes to put this together, and that accounts to around 2,100, 2,300 euros, depending on configuration, enclosure, and so on. And we also calculated if you would build your camera yourself entirely, and you wouldn't get kind of better deals on sensors, because we buy already a couple of hundred and we get much better prices. Also for mechanical manufacturing, building single pieces is really expensive, and building 10, 50 pieces are already much cheaper. The camera would cost you around 3,500 to 4,000 euros to build yourself, plus many hundred hours you have to put in. So that kind of gives you a perspective. But the biggest part of that price is the sensor. It's accounting for more than half of the at cost price. So if you are a sensor manufacturer yourself,
obviously it's a bit cheaper for you.
It depends, of course, again on how much you spend on development, and the production is then much cheaper depending on volume, but you can guess what DSLR that costs 800 euros off the shelf actually has inside as component value.
You mentioned earlier color science. what is the science behind color science? I mean, you know, of course, different cameras are reacting differently to light in a sense, and you know, Sony has their own signature colors, and Canon. And what will be your color science, or maybe just to explain what is color science first?
Yeah. Well, what will be our color science is a very good question, because it won't be the one color science. I think Roberto Schaefer put it quite nicely, that the Axiom could be the first camera where you can change stock with the press of a button. Because color science happens on so many levels inside the camera. It happens on the acquisition, on the sensor already. A sensor is basically a small computer, you could say, and a lot of parameters you can set how that sensor operates. So you can have different, even not just on the software side, you can even on the electronic side control how the sensor works. There are reference voltages, there are decouplings, and everything affects how.
Jesus. Green Tower. What is that now? What was that? How this is kind of old school adventure game. Also says open the big door and we'll probably see it below. So let's check this out. Where's Fiera? Let's try this on jump. This is a closed path. Can't go to the windmill yet. Let's go back here. It's like a clue, some kind of clue. It must do something. Statue Jew. Statue Jew. Well, that might be this that statue. Oh, good. Bring some corn oil. I didn't think I was ever gonna get it. Okay, well, I don't know why I did that, but I did it. My God. They said it couldn't be done. This is still some decent stuff. So let me crouch here. Maybe it means upstairs. Hello?
Hello.
Let's see here.
You said something? Where? I don't see you. Hello? I don't see you. I don't see you!
Well, don't worry about that.
Now I want to see you. Ooh, I'm going to play Maize. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. It's opening a PowerPoint. Why is it opening a PowerPoint? I must have clicked on
I'm
it.
supposed to open up PowerPoint.
I know, I must have clicked on it. Close. Close. It's running like it's lagging on my side. Do you see me?
Yes, I see you.
Okay. Come on. Launch YouTube. Come on. There it goes. There it goes. Oh, it launched 2 now.
Why would it open up PowerPoint? I don't know what's going on.
No, I clicked on it, that's why. I thought it wouldn't open with my 1 click, but it did. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. It opened the browser. I have like 1, 2, 4 other tabs that have YouTube on them.
Why?
So
why would it open?
Because well, the other 4 tabs that have YouTube, those are my Minecraft.
Oh, you already had that open.
Yeah, so it's opening up another tab for YouTube. So it's the 5th YouTube tab that I have. Are you playing online?
Yeah, just testing it out.
30 minutes ago. You started playing 30 minutes. Are you streaming 30 minutes ago?
What is that?
Oh, I can hear myself. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you're funny.
What's this game called?
Maize?
Oh yeah, it says it right there in the title.
It's something about sentient corn and artificial intelligence teddy bear with a Russian accent. Just started this to test it out and see. Hey, no fighting. To see how the streaming works. And if I could even get to work. So it looks like it works. Does it work?
The game?
Yeah.
The feed? Yeah, the feed is working. It's a really good job. But I hear both you on Skype and then I also hear the replay on YouTube. So then I can't tell if it's the Skype or if it's YouTube.
Wow. Like I said, this is just a test. I'll close it down in a minute. I really wanted to find out what the next step was, but I'm kind of stuck.
My voice sounds really awesome though. I like my voice.
I think it sounds pretty good. I need like an arrowhead, it seems. That's what this looks like. This looks like some kind of like arrowhead or tooth. Why I would place it there, I don't know. Let's leave the house and see if we can find something else. Are you scared yet?
No.
No.
You have a bobby pin in your hand?
Yeah. There's a lot of terracotta pots. Alright, I'll check that out again in a minute.
No, don't go in the cellar. It is going to be a delay on my side, though. So I see you standing outside the cellar right now. It's like probably like a minute delay.
Yeah, it does seem like it's a fairly big delay. You're just now seeing me.
Or a little less.
Ah.
Cool. You push the button. Or in the shelf.
Yeah.
Why is that photo there again? There's like duplicate copies of the photo.
Yeah, it did seem like it was the same one.
Has anything scary happened?
Something sort of creepy happened, like, immediately in the beginning.
Oh.
I saw some plants move, which that's what I think this is. It's like corn that's become intelligent.
So like it grew feet and moved out of the way or something?
Yeah, sort of.
Oh.
I think the corn has abducted me.
Kidnapped you, or
Yeah.
what do you mean abduct?
I'm kidnapped.
Oh. Well, you just need to find an axe.
From what I can recall on the trailer, which I saw like feels like a year ago. This can't be that old. The corn was snooty and it had a British accent. British accent. What was that? Hey, Sam. You gonna lay in that meal?
It's pretty cool how you set up the face cam and the game feed.
Yeah. I'm
I
proud
like
of
that. Yeah.
That makes me feel smart. Sammy. You left? Okay. I think he's gonna poop on the couch. I'm glad he did. This is what I do when date nights cancel.
Oh,
Hey, look, they had a cat here.
I'm sorry.
So now there's power. So there has to be something that we can do now that we've got power that we couldn't do without power. We can see in this room now. Not helpful.
Really boring mystery novel.
Okay, so it said a new path has opened up. So I guess I need to go take the new path. But I want to make sure that I've done as much as I can here. Which I guess I can't yet. Yeah, this does look like it's opened up. I'm doing it.
Oh, look, there's an arrow on that chair. Go this way.
Great kidney cure. That's a funny. They do a lot of funny things. Get pumped. Blocked.
Bobby pin.
Yeah.
You took the telescope?
Yep. Got stuck because my battery died in my mouse. Wait a minute. Let's go first. Yeah. Would you stop eating my shoes, please? Hey, I asked you nicely. I know. Hey, Sam. Oh, man. Okay, that's enough game for today. I don't know if I can save.